Welcome, welcome. My name is Carl Moore Jr., and once again, welcome to the Tech Freelancer YouTube and podcast. Today, I don't really have a lot to say, but it's been a lot of noise that I've been seeing lately. And the two noise that I've been hearing about is the layoffs and, you know, YouTube and how people are trying to sell back on YouTube. Now, with this podcast, I'm trying to help you, schedule your time, create your own narrative, and think outside the box. And I would never try to sell you anything. I never won't give you any financial advice. That's number one. But I will direct you in the right direction. Now, part of this podcast or YouTube, I want to give my experience of being in the IT field. I've done everything from help desk to networking, programming, IT director, IT manager, project manager. I've been in had those all those different types of hats that I used to wear. Right now, I'm wearing a hat as a project manager. I want to give you a day in a life of what I do, but I really can't do that because just the type of job I have. And watching these different YouTube channels, there's a lot of people that are giving you their what they do day by day, and some of it is cool, nice and dandy, but they're not showing you the days where they have a bad day. They're not showing you when something goes down, what they're doing. A lot of the stuff you can't do because it's NDA, right? So you have to be particular on what you're watching. I am going to do more tutorial type things for you guys. But today, I want to talk about, like I said, layoffs and the YouTube scamming things. Now, like I said, I'm not going to try to sell you anything. I just want to build a community with like-minded tech guys. And with that being said, you have to kill some of the noise because a lot of these tech gurus or tech channels, they're trying to sell you something. They're trying to sell you how to, join an actual mastermind or join a community of testers and programmers and this and that and boot camps, and you have to work your own pace. And this is what I'm getting at with the actual layoffs. You have to work your own pace, but you have to see the future. The last couple of shows that I've done, that's one thing I've said is you have to look in the future. You have to be that ninja. You have to be that foreseer. And when you're working a job, you have to understand what's next for me in this position or what's next in what's going on with this job. A lot of companies nowadays are using AI. If they weren't using AI, they were using some new technology that everybody wanted to jump on. And one thing with Silicon Valley companies, a lot of them jump on that bandwagon when they see new things come out. They want to run to that shiny object because that's what their customers want. There's nothing wrong with that. But then you have to look at what's my longevity with this. I'm doing sales, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Well, sooner or later, they're going to take that sales, they're going to take that IT team, they're going to take that programming, they're going to condense it down, or they're going to move it overseas. That's what they do. They figure out a way to learn how to do the actual work, get the processes down, and find somebody else cheaper to do it. And that's the thing about IT. Now, with this freelance podcast, I'm trying to teach you to think outside the box because if that does happen, you can always fall back on a side hustle, another job coming, getting your resume together, different things like that. And I'm going to point you to the right people who can help you with that. There's right camps to go to, there's right schools to go to, there's right resume writers out there for you to do that. There's right HR, there's right, everything's right for IT, but you have to know the right people. And within my 25 years of being in the industry, I have those people behind me that will help me. I'm trying to bring on different people in the industry, not in just tech, but they're freelancers. And they can go through their journey of what they did. I'm hoping to bring a friend on. I think I said it last week. His name is Chapo. And Chapo has a story to tell about how he went from the 9 to 5 job to actually starting his own film company. Just give me a call. And he was, we talked for about an hour or two, off and on for several days. What equipment, what he liked, what he didn't like, should he get help? How should he do this? Now he's making over 6 figures. Now, like I said, I don't want to talk about how much you're getting paid and all this jazz and trying to get you hyped up on 6 figures, because depending on where you're at, you might not never see that. Or the position you're in, you might not see that. But you can get there. But that's not where we're trying to go with this podcast. And the reason why we're not trying to go that route, because when you start thinking about money, then things go left. When you start thinking about, well, I want this type of money and I want this type of things go left. What you want to think about is your lifestyle. What type of lifestyle do you want to live, right? Now, seeing some of these YouTube guys out there and they wearing this, fancy clothes and thick herringbone chains and saying they're riding around in Ferraris and Porsches and this and that. To be honest with you, you don't really see that in the IT field. A lot of these guys and girls are basic, very, very basic. A lot of them are really nerdy out. They're not doing all that. You might see them riding around in an electric car. You might see them riding around in a BMW. You might see them riding around in whatever, right? But most of them, if they do have that type of car, it's sitting in the garage and they're not really pulling it out because they know that that car can turn into money while they're working. If they get laid off, guess what they can do? They can go sell that car and get that money back, right? So we got to look at the different avenues or different people that are out there that's going to teach you the right thing and the wrong thing. Now, with layoffs, right now, I was reading an article, and like I was saying earlier, it's quarter one. You had quarter four, and a lot of layoffs happen like right before Christmas, and then you have quarter one, which now it might be the second phase or third phase or whatever they're doing over in these IT companies. But they're looking for the hot new thing, and the hot new thing is AI. So when they're looking at this AI, you have to picture, where do you want to be in this AI? Are you wanting to be the programmer? Are you trying to be the data scientist? Are you being the security guy? Or the security girl, or whatever you're trying to be. But you actually have to look at it in the realm of looking forward, doing that master. Like I've said, that ninja. You gotta look forward. It's just something that's gonna keep on going with this company, or they're gonna jump on the next boat. Now you have companies out there that are doing real good in AI, and that's their fame and fortune. But how long will that AI work for them until they got to find the next jump? What happens after this AI boom is gone? And you have to look at that. Is this a company that you want to be at when that boom happens or that change happens? Because if that change happens, and depending on where you're at in that field or on that company, you might be knocking on the door as well. Say, hey, I need a new job. And you got to look at what are you're specializing in. So I don't want you to stay in that box. And that's one thing. One of my managers used to tell me that all the time. Cross, get out of that box. Get out of the box. I'm like, what are you talking about? A mentor, get out of that box. Get out of that box. I'm like, what are you talking about? And the thing what my mentor was always saying was, don't just learn networking, learn programming, learn web design, learn different tech ideas. You might not be the best at it, but you know it. So when this time comes, you can be versatile and change to that actual um, position. Don't be stuck in one thing, because when you're stuck in one thing, then things can happen that you don't want to happen. I remember when I was at IBM, it was my first true, I would say, Silicon Valley job. And wasn't Silicon Valley, but it's IBM. This is like early 2000s. And this was like right, I want to say Y2K because it's already happened. So it was around like, I got done playing football, working at CompUSA. Um, and I want to say it was around about 2005, 2006, somewhere around there, I think. And it was a programming QA type job. loved it to death. So one of my managers pulled me to the side and said, "Hey, Carl, I want to teach you Linux." I'm like, "Okay, that sounds fun." And I love doing Linux because I love that programming side. I love, mastering that whole trying to remember and seeing the, have the matrix and you have the little green lights and all that different things on your computer. And it was like, oh man, this is going to be a blast. But what he was trying to show me was, I'm going to take you from this QA and this programming to actually show you lamp. And once I show you lamp, that whole world just opened up. And that world opened up to lamp, SAP, different things like that, that made me really get into the programming side of Linux. But he was trying to show me that don't stay in this box, because I'm gonna tell you now, this box is gonna close. And when it closes, I want you to find something else after that. So I want to thank you, Mike, for for giving that to me, because I didn't really think about it at that time. Just after, like I said, after playing football and trying to raise a kid, and I was driving almost 45 minutes a day from Louisville to Lexington to work, and didn't think about that until he put that in my eyes. Now we did get laid off. It was a happy layoff. It wasn't nothing that nobody didn't know was coming, but it was IBM, and the way IBM works, they're gonna cut a division. We were that division they cut, but it gave me a life lesson to understand what I wanted to do and how I wanted to go. Now, looking back at that time, once again, it was like doing migration from Windows 95 to Windows 98. It's got its seasons. So you have to look at it the same way when you're looking at this AI, you're looking at this, Azure, the cloud. Now a lot of companies are realizing, yeah, we love the cloud, but we don't like that money going in and out, because now they're spending a lot more money on the cloud where they can do this in home office, or getting a branch of a data center and doing their own cloud services, and then actually migrate that way. And a lot of companies are doing that now because they're trying to hold that money, because anything can happen. And right now with the economy and these wars and different things like that, they want to try to condense that money as much as they can to spend out. And they want to make sure, when that finance guy comes in, that, all right, we have a division right here. They're not making any money. So how can we cut this? We got a division here. We want to cut it. How we do it? So we have to look at it of staying out, trying to get out that box. So if you like programming, find different ways to program. If you like programming a certain way, there's cloud programming. There's different programming that you can do, but learn all that, because you can actually use it for your advantage when it's time, or that person comes knocking on your door or your desk and say, hey, I need to come and talk to you. You know, you're ready. You stay ready. You have your resume ready. You have everything ready. You look, beyond, you know. For me, it was always being two steps ahead. You got your school, you got your search, you got different things so you can be ready to go. But you can also feel it too. You got that spidey sense that says, hey, something's going on, right? So we have to look a little bit further in this tech field and being a freelancer. That freelancer, that side hustle can help you. It can help you learn other things. You might be a programmer here, but hey, you might do side hustle as a website designer. And then something happens, guess what? You got that website design to help you out, or you got some type of other contracts going on other than what you have, you know. But it's one of those things that can push you a little bit further. One mentor. This is back in college. I had that mentor I was telling you about that was my coach's friend, and that was one thing he always kind of told me, Carl, don't settle for a help desk job. Don't settle for that travel job. Keep pushing yourself. Keep learning more, because if you keep staying in that box, you're gonna stay in that box. And he was right at that time, because you had Cobalt, you had all these different, once again, programming that people got stuck in. And then when all those companies kind of dropped all that type of older software and old hardware, those jobs were kind of gone. So you only had like two or three people that probably stayed around because they just needed them to get that rest of that data out. And if they couldn't get the rest of the data out, they were trying to find a way to migrate it over to a different platform. So you have to stay, like I said, get out that box. And that's what I really wanted to about today was getting out that box, understanding what these companies are doing. Keep your head up, keep pushing forward because that's what's going to help you. And if you have a family, definitely going to help you. Stay on top of those books, stay on top of your research, learn different items, do different things that's going to help you get past whatever you're getting past, right? But like I said, in the Silicon Valley world, things happen. One thing I didn't know once I got out there, it's a lot of contract work, a lot of contract work. And the reason they have a lot of contract work because they know, like, prime example, Facebook. When I went out there, Facebook, I didn't realize Facebook had that many contract workers because they'll keep a team and then they'll might keep two or three people and they'll cut that team because they don't need to, they're not doing that product no more. Or same with Google. They'll keep half the team, but they killed that product. So when they killed that product, they just killed half the people and now they're sitting around, trying to find the next gig. But a lot of the guys and girls that I ran into end up doing Uber driving, doing different delivery services, different things like that. It was like, hold on, I'm scratching my head on this. There's a lot of jobs out here. It is a lot of jobs depending on what you're doing. That's why you just got to stay focused, stay what you're trying to do. Write it down, state what you're trying to, put it in existence. Sometimes I don't like saying that because when you put it in, to me, it sounds ridiculous saying putting it in existence. But you write it down, talk about it, pray about it, talk to your family about it. If it's something that you're trying to push for, hey, your family's there behind you. I know my fiance, my son, my mom, my uncles, they all stood behind me when I said I was going to go back to grad school. And they were like, man, you know, do it. This is what you need. And it was what I needed. And I learned a lot from grad school because, like being in this field, you learn things quick, but you don't understand something until you go on from that place and you're like, damn, I should have done it this way or I should have done it that way. And grad school helped me with that because it made me look at it like, damn, I didn't even think about it that way. It makes you think more, like I said, outside that box. So once again, once again, let's think outside the box, get yourself prepared, focus, think ahead, think ahead. But you'll get there. If you're trying to do the freelance thing, do it. If you're trying to do the hustle thing, do it. Because the only thing it's going to do is prepare you for the next day. Okay? Once again, thank you for coming to the Tech Freelancer Podcast YouTube. My name is Carl Moore. I hope you enjoyed it.